Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully this will be the last time I have to make one of these videos. I'm making this video in support of my son Bryant. He's 17. His name's B-R-Y-A-N-T, Bryant. And I have friends and supporters all over the country and frankly all over the world that have been pulling for us to get this open. And short of getting help from all of you, it's the only way we can get it done. When my son was 10 years old, he was taken in and interviewed by a police officer, which is legal in the state of Wisconsin, except that he asked for his parent and there should have been no interview, because that's as the same as invoking your Miranda rights, but they don't care. Out of this interview, he was accused and charged, and it says right here, of first-degree sexual assault, a rape, at 10 years old. And in this paper, this is the only written words I have of it, it says, the juvenile was placed on a 6-month deferred prosecution agreement, a plea agreement, arranged through Brown County Human Services in 2009 for a charge of first-degree sexual assault of a child. Besides the fact of the interview that shouldn't have been, and I'm sure they're well aware of the law, more disturbing is the fact that they arranged him a plea deal without ever appointing him an attorney. In the state of Wisconsin, due process starts the minute a police officer starts investigating something. But instead of appointing him an attorney where he could dispute the interview, which is in the law, they went around the system and just had an arranged a plea deal. My ex-wife says that she never signed a plea deal. I know I didn't sign it. Did they have a 10-year-old sign his own plea deal? This case right here set a chain of events in motion that hasn't stopped to this day. Due to exposure to his juvenile file, last year, after him and his ex-girlfriend broke up, her and her best friend and went and made an accusation against him for sexual contact. 2 counts. It's right here. Sexual contact with the child. In the state of Wisconsin, when a statement is taken by a law officer, as I said, that's when your due process starts. But in the state of Wisconsin, the court, when they present this in juvenile court, not adult court, in juvenile court, they present this as facts. It says right there, facts. So a person can go in and say anything, and it's presented as a fact. So the child already, the minor already, right off the bat, has to prove their innocence, instead of the state proving beyond a reasonable doubt that they're guilty. I'm not going to get into all the details. Our whole story is at #JusticeForBryant on Facebook. It's all over the place. But anyway, this is important. Right here. 2 counts of sexual contact with the child. My son served 115 days in jail with no representation that was going to represent him. Now, he did have a public defender. His public defender brought him a plea deal down 5 days after he was arrested. 25 days after he was arrested, we still had not looked at one piece of discovery yet. 26 days after he was arrested, he broke down and signed a plea deal. Clearly under duress. And the last thing I'm going to show you, as I said, I have videos, we have everything out there. I'm just making this one to appeal real shortly to all of you. If you look here on the 2 counts, it says 2 counts of sexual contact. And as I said, I've showed this piece of paper, and it's also documented, and the documents are on. This is a report to court for his sentencing to Judge Zukowski of Brown County. His probation officer drew up this report to the court. His attorney never showed up for sentencing. Didn't even bother to show up. I think I know why. and I'm about to show you. See, here's his probation officer, Miss Maloney. Please, Bryant, read and let me know what you think. And as I said in one of my other videos, this gives you an idea of the capacity of my son to understand what's happening to him, because he never even noticed this if he read it. Present offenses. Count 1. The above-named juvenile on or about Friday, blah blah, in the village of blah blah, did have sexual intercourse. 2 counts. His probation officer deliberately altered this for his sentencing into rape. Now, if you call Brown County, Wisconsin, and you ask them, they'll say, well, the statutes are the same. It doesn't matter how it's worded. Really? So it doesn't matter that you took and deliberately altered 2 counts of sexual contact into 2 counts of sexual intercourse. I'm sorry, but that doesn't seem like a typo to me. Anyway, as I said, I have friends all over the country and all over the world that are pulling for this young man. I have a friend that found an attorney that I talked to just the other day that said she would absolutely petition to get this reopened on the fact that the 10-year-old was interviewed without a parent, and when he asked for his parent, they went ahead with the interview anyway. And the fact that the district judge of Brown County, Wisconsin sentenced this young man without his attorney even showing up for court. And then he sentenced him to 2 counts of rape that were never even alleged. You can read the girl's statements. He never even got their hands supposedly in their pants. Everyone, we need your help. Law enforcement and judicial officials should not be allowed to get away with misconduct. I've shown in my other videos the complaints that I made. I made one to the Office of Lawyer Regulation, who apparently the Supreme Court of Wisconsin says it's okay that his attorney didn't show up for court. I made a complaint with Brown County Human Services. They removed his probation officer from his case, but they're not going to turn her in. I made a complaint with the Schwaben on Public Safety for 9 violations. We can make it 10 now, but 9 violations of my son's civil and my civil rights that the officer abused. I got nothing back from the Schwaben on Public Safety, but too bad. I made a complaint with the Wisconsin Department of Justice, who told me to go make a complaint with all the people I had already complained to. Nobody's going to hold these people to account, except this attorney that I found. Nobody. Is it any wonder the system is so broke? Is it any wonder people don't trust the system anymore? Only through this attorney, my friends, can we get this done. Time's running out. I've done everything I can without an attorney to try and get this taken care of. And I'm not going to be able to get anywhere because they're all so afraid of a lawsuit, which they should be, but that's beside the point. We need your help. I appreciate any and all support you can give. And my son deserves his future back. He deserves to graduate from high school. These 2 girls should be in jail for making up a false report. That police officer should have to answer for his crime. He knowingly submitted a false police report in a felony case. That's a crime. Help us out here, everyone. Thank you and God bless.